Institution Statutory Fund Amendment Bill 2016. I call on Deputy Clare Daly to move for leave to introduce.
I'm the only one working in this place, and there was a problem with this, that the two of them came on stream together. Just very briefly, Count Corlane, moving the Residential Institution Statutory Fund Amendment Bill 2016. The reason why I put this bill really is because of an absolute avalanche of correspondence that I've had from Carranua applicants who've been utterly demoralised in terms of how this fund is being administered by that organisation. The people involved are people who were the victims of our industrial schools. They're incredibly vulnerable people who've already been damaged by a really shameful episode in our history. They need to be treated with severe, kindness, understanding and care because of their experiences. And I have to say that of the people who've contacted me, all of their experiences have almost been exclusively negative in terms of their interaction with the Carranua organisation. And subsequent to us tabling this bill, actually the annual report of the appeal officer for 2015 indicates a rise in the number of appeals and highlights precisely some of the failings in the fund that my legislation is actually designed to address. If you read his reports and what the bill is trying to do, they're actually very much in tandem, because the bill intends to address some of the failings with the scheme, just very briefly, to include other survivors who were not previously in receipt of a settlement, which is also a measure recommended by the appeals officer. Why should people be left out for a second time when they've already been left out for the first? It provides to widen the number of services and types of service that people can avail of, for example, to include the cost of a funeral, which is something that arises a lot. And there are a number of limitations in the original Act which, in my opinion, don't need to be there. There's also a clause in it which removes the promise of surplus funds being distributed to the Children's Hospital, because it's very clear that there are going to be no surplus funds in the administration of this scheme. So the report of the appeals officer really does, and I'd recommend all deputies to read it, highlights the breakdown in communications between the administrators of the fund and the clients, with massively long delays, unclear guidelines, protracted procedures which have been hugely damaging from people who've been badly let down by the state already. So I think the bill goes some way to address some of the shortcomings, and I'd be very happy to see it progressed urgently.
Daly, is the bill being opposed? It's not being opposed. The motion for leave to introduce is therefore agreed. I ask Deputy Daly to move to the second stage to be taken. Private member's time, you so moved. We move